Okay, fifth grade, today we start lesson 3-7, multiplying two-digit by two-digit numbers. So today I want you to get your book open at page 78 and 79 and your spiral ready to take notes. Today we're going to start with go ahead and getting our objective down. Your objective today is I can multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. And I want you to start right away today before we get into our examples. Go ahead and let's get these steps down. This is one way. We're going to go through two different ways today, and this is your first way. Your steps are going to be the first one is to multiply by the ones and regroup if necessary. Step number 2 is to put a 0 in the ones place under the first partial product. And partial product we'll go over in a few minutes if you're not understanding what that term is. And then we're going to multiply by the tens, and we're going to regroup. Once we have done that, then we're going to add the partial products, and that will give us our final product or our final answer. Okay, so if you need to, take a minute to pause this and copy down these steps. Okay, now we're going to jump into the book, top of page 78, where it says, how do you multiply by two-digit numbers? They pose the question. Sammy's car wash had 38 full-service car washes in one day. How much money did Sammy's car wash make in one day from full-service car washes? So it says choose an operation. They tell you to multiply to join equal groups. Okay, well, we need to find out what do we need to multiply. How many full-service car washes did they have? 38. Good. Now we need to look on the sign, and what do we need to find? Yes, we need to find the cost of the full-service car wash. Okay, so now we know there's 38 of them, and they each cost $12 a piece. How much money will they make? So will our solution be a number of car washes, or are we looking for a amount of money? Good, we're looking for an amount of money. Okay, so now look across at the top of page 79. You will see there step 1. This is what you just copied in your notes. Multiply by the ones and regroup. So they have 38 times 12. There you see that the 2 there at the bottom, you're going to start with the 2, and you do 2 times 8, which gives you 16. You see they put the 6 at the bottom, and they regroup the 1 at the top. Then they did 2 times 3, which gives us what? 6, good. And then they had to add the number that they regrouped, which was 1, so 6 plus 1 gives us 7. So 76 becomes our first partial product. Go ahead and slide to step 2. You will see here it says multiply the tens and regroup. Okay, this is where in your book they did not give you part of the definition I gave you in your notes. So you will see here that you will put a 0 right underneath the 6 and then continue multiplying. 1 times 8 will give you 8, and 1 times 3 will give you 3. Now your last and final step will be to add those two numbers together, which gave you 456. So Sammy's car wash made $456 from those 38 car washes. Okay, now I put up on the board the same thing that we just read through and you followed through at the top of your book. I'm going to point out again. So when we're multiplying, we start in the ones place. That's our first step. And then we multiply by the ones. 2 times 8 is 16. So the 6th one here, the 1 gets regrouped. And then you're going to multiply the ones by the tens. 2 times 3 is 6. Add your number that you regrouped, which is 7. 76. This is where we get our first partial product. And you should label this the same way in your spiral. Okay, your second step said to place a 0 underneath your ones place in your first partial product. We have to annex that 0 in and then continue multiplying, now using the number in the tens place. Again, you go back and you multiply by the ones. 1 times 8 gives us 8, and 1 times 3 gives us 3. And step 3 tells us then to add our partial products. 6 plus 0 gave us 6. 7 plus 8 gives us 15. So 5 goes down here, 1 gets regrouped, and 1 plus 3 is 4, giving us a final answer of $456. All right, good job, 5th grade. If you have a question, put it right next to this example and bring it back to class. Okay, they don't give us any other things. They just want us to jump into practicing. So it says, do you know how in guided practice? In 1 through 4, it says find each product, estimate to check that your answer is reasonable. So number 1, they have 72 times 16. So copy down your problem. And you will see here I'm putting my number here, the 6 that's in the ones place, in a box. That's just to help us visually remember that's where we need to start. Okay, so we're going to start with multiplying by the 1. 6 times 2 gives us 12. Good. 2 goes down here. 1 gets regrouped. Okay, 6 times 7 gives us what? Good. 42. Plus 1 gives us 43. So that's our first partial product. Okay, at this point in time, what Ms. Sharber likes to do, and you can get used to it too, I'm going to cross out what we've used. And for learning purposes today, you see I'm going to switch colors because now I'm going to my next partial product. Before I start my next multiplying, I need to put my 0 here to hold place value. And then I'm going to circle this number so I know what digit I'm looking at now. Because now I need to take the tens and multiply by the ones and the tens. We're going to start with the ones. 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 7 is 7. Now my last and final step then is to go ahead and add both partial products. 2 plus 0 gives me 2, and 3 plus 2 gives me 5, and 4 plus 7 gives me 11. So for a final answer of 1,152. Okay, now let's go ahead and check for reasonable. Let's estimate. What would 72 round to? Good, 70. Hopefully this is quick for you now. What would 16 round to? 20. Good. And let's multiply that out. What is 7 times 2? Remember, we can do our non-zero digits and then add our 0. 2 times 7 gives us 14, and we add our 2 zeros. Is 1,400 close to 1,152? Yes, it's close. So we know our answer is reasonable. All right, good job. Let's go and look at number 2 now. Please copy down 84 times 21. 84 times 21. Put your 1 in a box so we know where we're going to start. Again, we do step number 1, which is multiply the ones. 1 times 4 gives us 4. Good. And 1 times 8 gives us 8. Excellent. Okay, second step says to place that 0 under my first partial product in the 1 space. And then I'm going to change color here and circle my next number, my tens digit, to multiply now. The 2 times the 4 goes first. 2 times 4 is what? Good, 8. And 2 times 8 gives us 16. Okay, my last and final step then is to do what, 5th grade, if you need to, but peek back at your notes. What do we do now? Good, we add those partial products. 4 plus 0 gives us 4. 8 plus 8 gives us 16. 1 plus 6 gives us 7. Good, and 1 plus nothing gives us 1. Final answer of 1,764. All right, now let's check for reasonableness. Let's estimate our numbers. 84 would round to 80. 21 would round to 20. And let's multiply that out. We have, just find our non-zero digits. 8 times 2 gives us 16, and we add our zeros. So we have about 1,600. Is that close? Yes, that's close. So our answer is reasonable.